Paddy, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this appeal.
Yeah, well, obviously the Kimberley at the moment is going through a fairly rough time. The significant amount of rain, the flooding, and I think it was the worst floods in WA history. So the communities up there are all really affected with the road flooding and the bridge that's come down. So as a Freo family, we really want to get behind our community up there. We've got really strong links with the Kimberley. We've got 5 blokes who grew up there or from there. We've had a number of NGA boys drafted through there. That's obviously our zone and our region up there. We do a lot of community work up there. So we've got really strong ties and we really want to support the community there. So we're asking the Purple Army and our Freo family to get behind and donate to this appeal. And then we're going to donate it as a big sum to the Disaster Relief Fund from the Purple Army.
You recently spent a bit of time up there. Can you imagine what the communities are going through at the moment?
Yeah, it's really tough. I think sort of the bigger towns there's so many people there at the moment with all the communities that have been washed out of their own houses and where they're living. So there's a lot of people in temporary shelters and a lot of people who have lost a lot, and so families been displaced, and that's tough. That's tough for anyone, and with the wet season still going, it's going to be a while until they can get meaningful road works and that sort of thing done. So it's going to be a bit of a hard slog, and we're just wanting to support and help that process as much as we can.
So what can the Freo fans do?
We're going to put a link out there that you can donate to initially, and then over the next couple of months as well, we're going to keep putting stuff out there and keep giving our fans and our members opportunities to contribute. So just keep an eye out for that, and there's an initial donation link as well, just to get as many resources up there helping as we can in the initial phase.
Was it a player-driven thing? Did you come to the club, or how did you come?
I think it's a group effort. The club's obviously through our community team has really strong ties, so they were really keen to keep those connections and support the communities up there as much as we can. And then, 5 boys from those regions, and a few of them have just been there for Christmas and that sort of thing. So, really, really strong connections there.
Personally, have you got connections up there? And have you said, just tell us as well.
Yeah, so most of the I've got aunties and uncles and cousins up there at the moment. Mum and Dad were in Perth when the flooding happened. We've got the family business up there as well. So one of our tour boats got sunk. So they're fishing that out of the bottom of the creek at the moment. So everyone up there has been affected, and we were probably luckier than most.
But you know how firsthand how hard it is for those people.
Yeah, definitely. Family and friends up there going through it, and just the whole town sort of had to come together and provide housing and shelter for people who have been displaced. And I think Broome itself, which is where I'm from, has probably been hit a little bit less than some of the other surrounding towns. And obviously with the airport there as well, that helps with getting supplies in and that sort of thing. So the surrounding communities are probably doing it a fair bit tougher than that.
How important is it to keep it at the forefront of people's minds? We were just talking about how remote some of the areas are that have been hit, and how it's even hard to get, images of what's going on up there. How important is it to keep it at the forefront of people's minds so that we do get donations?
Yeah, definitely. And WA is such a massive state, but I think the pride of being West Australian comes through really strongly, and supporting the WA footy clubs is a part of that as well. And I think WA is a really strong connection as a whole. So hopefully that really comes through in this period. And I think the other thing as well, there seems to be a 1 in 100 year event coming more and more frequently now. And it's not just this initial phase where the floodwaters are still there and are slowly going down. It'll be moving forward. There's still going to be logistical challenges getting resources and supplies up there, and with the bridge and the road damage, it's going to be a lot longer than just a couple of weeks of recovery. It's going to be a month-long effort, and as a club we're really committed to staying connected and supporting the communities up there through that whole period, not just for this initial phase. So we're looking to help as much and in any way we can, and hopefully the WA community and our Freo family does as well.
How proud are you of the club for getting behind something like this? Yeah,
it's awesome. It's a part of our purpose as a club, I think, not just on-field success, which is obviously really important, but also our off-field position and how we want to be a part of our community and not just take from the community, but give back more than what we take. We want to enrich the community and make our family proud. And part of family, we talk about that a lot at the club, and part of family is looking after each other when someone's going through hardship or gets knocked down. You're there to pick them up and support them. So that's what we're looking to do up north.
Speaking of sport, can we please ask you a couple of football questions
Yep.
about how pre-season's going? We noticed that you were back a little bit early running around with Sam Sukowski a couple of weeks ago. What's the off-season been like and getting back into it?
Yeah, off-season was great. Went over to New Zealand for a couple of weeks with my family. So that was great to get away and spend some quality family time, which was great. And then, got back a week early, so was getting some sessions done with Switter. So it was good just to get back into the routine a week or so beforehand, so it's not too much of a shock to the system when we rock up and start doing 12K sessions. So that was good, and that sort of held me in good stead for Thursday coming back, and then we're starting to really get into the swing of things now.
It always seems to be a 37-degree day when you do that, though. Is it, are you looking forward to a few more cooler days, although it seems to be heating up at the end of the week? Yeah,
and it's always windy as well when we're running time trials, which isn't ideal, but cool weather's a nice change today, but the heat training and training in these conditions, I think, makes us fitter and stronger and better prepared for the season. So, and as a Broome boy, I sort of welcome the heat, cope with it a little bit better than most, I think. So, I don't mind it.
Is everyone back this week, or have we got?
Yeah, everyone's back.
So looking forward to getting everyone together.
Yeah. So everyone's together, and we're starting our match sim, starting to ramp that up. So we're starting to build some of those connections and stress tested in those match situations, which is always good.
I know you've been here a couple of years now. I know it's still early, but how have you compared this pre-season, I guess, to other ones? Has it ramped up a notch, hunting that premiership?
Yeah. I think it's been a little bit shorter, just with the way the schedule's worked than others. So we've ramped a lot quicker, and I think there's a real sense of confidence as well within the club. We've built over a number of years since I've been here, and we had some success last year, which gives us a good base to build off and a good foundation, and some confidence as well. I think that we probably haven't had. I think previously we've come into a pre-season more hopeful and not having that background of a successful year before. So we've got a bit of that self-belief, I think, as a team that hopefully we can build on, and that should hold us in good stead, I think.
Is it nice to not be out of contract for once heading into a new year? Probably something rare for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a few years since I wasn't looking forward and trying to figure out if I was still going to have a job the next year. So it's nice to sort of have that extra year. But in saying that, it's still right around the corner, and I want to be playing games of footy for the footy club. So sort of it's dropped the pressure in sort of a more of a macro sense, but I'm still really focused on earning my spot and putting my best foot forward as well.
Was it frustrating last year being subbed so many times, and obviously that's something you probably aim to avoid this year, just trying to get into that best 22?
Yeah, hopefully. It was a bit of a unique frustration last year because you still felt like you were a part of the team and you're involved, but then you're also probably one step removed, but also not able all the time to take your frustration out on the field. And even if you're playing for Peel, that's sort of an outlet, and you still get to play footy, whereas as a Medi-sub you didn't always get that opportunity, or it might have only been for 10, 15 minutes at the end of a game, which sort of just gave you that little taste of it. Hopefully this year I can put some performances together and build and work into that best 22 and not have to stress every Thursday if I'm going to get selected or not.
Do you feel like there's a spot up for grabs with Griffin Logue going? It felt like you were fighting with him for that spot in the forward line a lot last year.
Yeah, our forward line's probably changed a bit with a few departures and So I think there is definitely spots there available, and trying to build my flexibility and being able to play tall and small and give JL and the coaches as many options as I can to slot me into different places if someone else goes down or whatever else. So just trying to keep building that, and hopefully if there's 3 or 4 different places I can play, and so I can sort of build that flexibility into my game.
Where else could you sort of play? Like, could you force your way up into a wing or something like that, or? Yeah,
I think I can play sort of tall or small in the forward line, and then potentially play as sort of that chop out winger potentially. I think I've got the knowledge of our game plan and our systems to be able to do that if needed.
How the train on boys looking? You would have had a little bit to do with them both being forwards as well, Stubbs and Sarong.
Yeah, they're going well. Really digging in. It's a really unique position for them. Sort of, it's an extended trial. So with that comes a fair bit of pressure, I imagine. But I think they're both really putting their best foot forward and bringing a lot of intensity and just passion and love for the game, I think, as well, which always lifts the group as a whole.